Very
So
cool.
I guess we can start now.
Yeah, you just take it away.
Yeah. Okay, so hello everybody. So we're going to do the magic machine from Hack the Box today, which is, it was rated as a medium machine, but honestly it was quite easy, and it did have some skills that required a bit of extra thinking, but overall it was a very doable machine. And if you're new, this is definitely one that you should try out. So as always, you have to start out with doing an mmap scan. Well, I like doing a full port scan map, just in case there are some hidden ports. Just to make sure it is not really slow, we can just use this dash min rate thing, because, well, it works in ActiveBox, so why not use it? Then the IP, and just give it a second to load.
Maybe you can increase the font a little bit in the terminal, so we can. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
Okay. So as you can see, we now have port 22 and port 80 open. So what we can now do is a more detailed scan, and we can use mmap to just focus on those two ports by using this command. So you use the -p parameter to specify the ports you want. Then this one for version detection and default scripts. And then just, as always, get the IP. Now just give it a second to run. So we already know that there's, as you can see, we have port 80 open. So there's a web server. Well, if you go there, it's just this website with lots of weird pictures. And yeah, we can click on them and they just appear. That's just what happens. But when you look around, we can see that there is a login function. Well, so you can try doing something like maybe just some default creds like admin. Okay, doesn't work. Admin password maybe also doesn't work. So yeah, it might not really be the way to go for this machine. But there's always another option we can use, since we are hackers after all. So we can just exploit it. So what probably happens is that there's a basic SQL. There's basic SQL behind this. So we can probably just bypass this authentication by using the most basic SQL injection ever. So like this should work. And then just give it a password. And it didn't work, like always. Okay,
that's the demo effect. Maybe a typo in the thingy.
Yeah, I'm having a look at it. Okay. So this. Yeah, it was probably one of the spaces. You're right. Okay, so there are no spaces in here for some reason.
The space up to the.
Yeah, I already tried it.
Or space.
I'm pressing space now, but yeah, I'm pressing it now. It just doesn't allow it for some weird reason. So maybe we can fix it by using burp, I guess.
Yeah, that was also the trick that I saw somebody else doing.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, just try using burp. That
the JavaScript on the browser blocks the space.
Ah, okay. So that might be it. Sounds normal. Okay, wait, now that I think of it, there might be another solution. So we tried it on the username field. Maybe it does work on the password field. So let's just make it easier for you to see. So let's just change the type from password to text, so we can actually see what we are doing in here. So or 1 equals 1. This works? No, it still does not work for some reason. Okay, so I guess we'll have to try and burp. So right here, I'm using this plugin called Foxy Proxy, which just makes it easy to switch between proxies, so you don't have to go into settings every time, and this just makes it work much better.
And copy paste, does that not work?
I don't think so. I think it might just block just spaces entirely. So let's just try it out in Burp. That will probably work. Okay, proxy, admin, or so let's check this out in Burp. Yeah, this is probably it. As you can see, it's not sending spaces between here, so let's try fixing it like this. It still does not work. Okay. So let's try HTML encoding it. Okay. So we want our payload to be like this. So let's see. Oh, wait, it was Control U. So just press Ctrl U, which automatically converts it to HTML encoding. Let's see, does it work now? Yeah, as you can see, we now have access to something else, the login form. So, well, this is a web exploit after all, so, you know, let's just get a cheeky web shell. Let's see which one will be the best one. For shell.php. Oh, copy it over here. Let's just quickly edit this with our own IP address. So we now have our IP address. Let's just change this. Port 1234 should be fine. I hope. Okay. Okay. Oh wait, so you have to drag and drop. Okay. Home, hack the box, Meetup, magic. This one, let's try uploading, and it doesn't work. So apparently there's some kind of file filter on here. So we will need to find a way to bypass this. But this is something that happens quite often on Hack the Box. But so we can see we have JPG, JPEG, and PNG files, which are allowed to upload. And well, it is possible to hide a PHP shell in one of those files. So it's probably best practice if we just try to look at that. So to do that, I always just have a standard blank picture in my pictures directory. It's just something I like. This is just a really simple black picture, just shows nothing else. It's nothing special.
I always use a Muppet.
Yeah, that also works. Just make sure it is an image that follows one of those types. I just like using PNG since it just works well. So what we can do is we can use EXIF tool to make sure there's some extra text inside of this PNG file. So let's see, okay, EXIF tool is not installed. Let's try something else then. Let's try to find a good space in here. Yeah, let's try right here. So we want a PHP shell. So you have to do it like this. System. Get CMD. Okay. See, is this correct? Okay, it looks good. But the thing is, like this, it does not work yet. So we will have to change something in here. So what we can do to bypass it is change the file name from black.png to black.php. .png. Right now, if you try uploading it, as you can see, it has been uploaded. So that's great. So if we now go back to the index, right here, there's probably an empty image somewhere in here. So let's see. Good. So we're like, okay. So as you can see, it's not in here. So maybe we have to use GoBust or something like that to just check for hidden subdirectories. So I just like using GoBuster since it works fast and it has everything I need. So I don't really need anything else. So I just word lists. I just like using just one of these. Small text will probably be good enough. So like this, and just give it a second to run. And there's not really much we can do about it, but we can see the images directory, which is probably interesting. So let's see, we don't have permission. Okay, but
while we wait, the trick that I always use, I just cat a PNG and add the text file and don't even edit the PNG file, just add it to the end.
that also works.
Also works. Yeah.
So we know there's an images directory, so let's try using GoBuster on that one too, because why not? Maybe there's something interesting we can find.
To speed up your process, you can check the location where the other images are. Maybe your image is in the same folder.
I think that's a very good suggestion. Yeah.
Let's see, is it in here? It's in images fulls. So I don't know, that doesn't really seem like a working for this, but as you can see, there's an uploads directory. So, well, we just uploaded a picture. So let's try it like this. And we have, as you can see here, with remote shell execution. So even if we do this, we can see we can see the current working directory. So we have now confirmed remote code execution. So this is a great first step. But now we will have to make sure that we don't have to use this weird shell, but that we get a real shell back. So for that, we can just use one of the basic pentest monkey shells, which is like one of the most basic things ever, but they just work really well. And if you have not tried them out yet, you should definitely try them out. They're definitely worth looking at. So okay. So I like using our rep because it immediately gives some kind of TTY, not full TTY yet, but it might help for some people who are just lazy and who don't want to upgrade their shell at all. So, it's always an option.
Can you scroll up because what you're typing is hidden behind the toolbar, yeah? Or clear screen, yeah, because your command prompt is.
See, which one did you want to see?
No.
Okay.
On my machine, your command prompt is not visible anymore because it's hidden behind the mute button and those things.
Okay, you probably have to move your mouse up to move this mute. Mute.
It goes into full screen mode and then it overlays it. So if you can make your terminal a little bit less high, then it would be fixed.
Okay. So, well, as you can see here, port 43 didn't work because you need to use sudo, and I'm just too late to type sudo because Ukeli uses a default non-root user, so sometimes it's just best to just immediately get used to it. So in here, we can get our own commands. So let's see, which ones do we have? For example, we can try out this one here. Nowadays, just Python is dead, so just use Python 3 instead. So we're going to assume that this machine also has Python 3, because at this point in time, just most Hack-the-Box machines have it, because it's a standard, so there really is not any other reason not to use it. So let's see. Wait, did the file get removed? Okay, the file got removed. Let's try again. Okay. So sometimes it might happen that there's some kind of detection that tries to see if there's somebody who's just trying to, do something malicious on your server. So there's probably some kind of detection on here. So you have to have some kind of speed. So, so while we're at it, let's just try this shell. It will also work. Give it a second. Let's check here. Did not work. Yeah, it's just an APT. It's a great tool. Let's see. Did I do this correctly? Yes. Okay, so that one did not work either. So, there's always a final resort in case nothing works. This one pretty much always works. So, let's just give this one a try. And sometimes there might be some problems with your own coding. So just to make sure, let's try sending it through burp. Let's see what happens then. It's not going through burp anymore. Okay. Okay. Let's see, it worked now. It is not working for some weird reason.
Does the box not just temporarily remove upload files?
But let's see is the box still on? Maybe somebody removed it or something. No, the box is still here.
No, but that your Python would work. You can try a Python 3 minus version and see if it actually allows running Python.
It has Python 3 installed.
Yeah, but try running Python, see if it actually works.
Okay, so there's just no Python installed on here. Just no Py2. So we have to resort to using Python 3. As you can see, it worked now for some reason, but okay, sometimes it just works. So just the first step that I like to take is just get some kind of TTY, because this shell doesn't work well, and some things just like SU, they just don't work at all. So let's just upgrade to a bash shell, bash PTY, because it just works, and it's pretty much a default thing to do by now. Oh, yeah, wait, that's right. Okay, so we have this now. Let's export my term, get some kind. While we're at it, just. So now we have a kind of normal shell, I guess. Okay. So good first thing to do as enum is just trying to find out some different kinds of users. So from here, when we look around really quickly, we can see user Theseus. So there is probably a directory for him in home, and as we can see, there is a Theseus directory in home. So he is probably the user we need to get to own the user flag. But we need to figure out how to get to him, because right now we just can't do anything. Maybe we have enough permissions to. Okay, we can estimate. Maybe this works, and it does not work, of course, because it's Hack-the-Box. They don't want to make it easy for us. So another good thing to always try to look at, because this is a web app after all. So let's see what other parts are there near. So there's Magic. That's probably it. So let's see here. There's something related to databases. So let's see. Maybe there's something good in here. And there definitely is. There seems to be some credentials for SQL. So, this is probably where the fun part starts. So what we now need to do is just try to dump the entire SQL database. To that, there is this great tool. Let's see if it's installed on here. MySQL dump. As you can see, it's installed on here. This tool is great for just dumping SQL when you're just too lazy to do everything by yourself. You know what? Why do anything yourself when you can automate it? So there's a really basic syntax. You just start with user, password. Well, we have that one. I'm King Theseus. And then just the database name. And we can see that one over here. Magic. Okay, enter password. Let's see, is there anything in here? Access denied. Okay, this was supposed to work though.
The comment line is wrong. It says that access denied for user Theseus to database I am a King Theseus. So instead of the Magic database tries to dump the I am King Theseus database.
Okay, let's just try it like this. Theseus. Let's maybe try setting host, local host. That might work. Database Magic. Let's see. Did that work? This definitely worked. So let's go up a bit. So this is where we run our command. So if you want to know, we use it like this. So if you want to copy paste it, you have your chance now. Okay, but let's quickly go through here. There's not really anything special in this upper part. So, let's just keep going. And we can find dumping data for table login. I know when there's a table for logins, it's always good to look at. We found credentials. Admin, user admin, and credentials Theseus was king. Okay, so what can we do with this? We know there's not an admin user on this machine, so what else do we have to do? Well, there's another user on this machine that we can use, Theseus. So let's try with this password. And we are Theseus now. So from now, just getting the flag is easy. You can just go over here and just own the user. Why is it not working again? Well, as you can see, we now have user text, and if you will want to, you can just get it. But I want you to do it on your own. Here's just proof that the file exists. So if you want the flag, you have to do it on your own, not just copy pasting. So have fun with that, I guess. So from here, we're going to we need to find some way to just get root privileges. And it's Hack-the-Box, so it's probably not something that difficult. So it's probably something like a really basic set user ID binary. So we have this command which just tries to find every suet binary. So let's try running it. Maybe there's something weird in here. In case you want it, I will
Can
paste
you
it in chat.
explain what a suet binary is? Because I don't think many people will actually jump to that conclusion that it will be
So
wrong.
SUID binaries are binaries set with a set user ID bit, which allows them to be run as another user. Meaning you can do something like, you can make something where normal users can get access to a machine, but you can make one special binary, which might need root privileges, so you can make it run as root, so they can still make use of that file. So we now have all of those binaries. So it's always good to just have a bit of a look to see what kind of interesting things we can find in here. So let's see. The sysinfo one is pretty weird. Okay, so let's see. Can we just run it sysinfo? Okay.
Why do you think it's weird?
Sysinfo is, as far as I know, it's not really like a normal binary on the system. So, it just really pops out to use. So, yeah, it's
Especially the group is also users instead of
it's
root, right?
just one of those things that you will start recognizing when you do more hack the box, and it's not something you will notice during your first time hacking. So it might take some time to recognize things like this, but if you try hard enough, eventually you will definitely get there. So as we can see from here, it's outputting some kind of data about the hardware up here. Yeah, I don't have a cam. Okay. Okay, so there is this thing called ltrace, which allows you to see the system calls made inside of the binary. So if we run this, let's go back to the top. Okay. So as you can see, it is right here. It's using process open, and it's running the command lshw. So, okay, let's see, maybe there's something else in there which we can use. We know we already have one. Okay, that seems like it. Okay, no, we also have fdisk in here. So that might also be a good target to use for this. So, why not try using it? So, you know what? Let's just try fdisk because I don't know. It just looks nice. Why not use it? So, to make use of this, we can abuse the system path. So in Linux, there are certain variables set, like path. What basically happens is that it gets your binaries from here. So for example, when you try running something like ls, as you can see in here, ls is located in /bin. But when you look on here, /bin is also located on the path, meaning the system can find binaries located in /bin. But if you will place ls in something like this one, user local sbin, it will first look in that one because it's first in line and it always goes down the line. Why would you check the first ones on the last? But so what we can now, so basically what it's doing is just it's running fdisk. So if you do which fdisk, we can see it's located in sbin. So the one is right here. So what we can basically do is make our own fdisk binary, but none of these paths are usually writable. But something we can do is change our own path to include the location of our custom fdisk binary, which is just basically a malicious file. So let's just decide on a port we can use. For example, I just like using 9000 for Netcat listeners. It's just something I do by default. So for this, we can go back to our favorite website, long live Pentest Monkey. Hello, let's just copy this command. Let's see, okay, as you can see, I accidentally Control-C'd my shell back there, so let me just fix this really quick. Things like this happen. Don't feel stupid when it happens. As you can see.
The many times that I destroyed a shell while like working on it for hours just by pressing the wrong button. It's like
trust me, it just happens. You will probably forget it once. And don't feel ashamed when it happens. Well, pretty much all of us have had it happen. God.
Well, but that was your point, right? You did this to show that it happens to everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Right? I was definitely expecting it to happen. So let's just go back to Theseus. So, it should probably still be located somewhere. So let's try finding it because, I'm really lazy.
Now we should create a hack the box pyramid of pain because we just like the name pyramid of pain, and then we'll just add disconnected session into that list.
Sounds good. Let's make it happen.
Pyramid of pain. I will make a thing on the channel for it.
Okay, so we just have Nano. Some of you might hate me for this because you like Fim, but I'm just using Nano here. Oh, wait, that's probably... Let's see. Yeah, it works now.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, this is...
Nice.
What? Okay, that one did not work. That also broke my shell.
I don't think Nano is a very good choice because of the key bindings, right?
Well, it is also kind of clashing with CSH, which is something I've noticed recently after switching to CSH. As you can see, just don't feel stupid when you make mistakes like this. It just happens.
Echo to the file instead.
Okay, so
yeah, I would do that too as well.
Let's maybe try to be safe a bit. So let's just, okay. So let's see, which one do we need to make? Let's go.
We want to do fdisk.
So, I'm lazy. Let's just make it on our own, on our local system because, we have it. So, why not make use of it? So let's just grab this one.
Are you putting one line in it? Are you going to put a single line in it?
No, definitely not. 14.6. Then to our port. It's also important. And this is pretty much the most important thing. Don't forget the shebang line. Forgetting a shebang line can really mess up everything. So just keep that in mind. If you want to make a script that just runs, just use the shebang line. It does not take that much work. It's just this. You can also just find it on Google if you're lazy and just copy paste it. But it works. So yeah, let's just use it. So now we need to have some way to bring this to the other machine. So Python. Okay, wait, that's right. Python has this thing as a module where you can host an HTTP server. I just like hosting on HTTP because HTTP normally gets hosted on port 80. But using this, you can transport files to a different machine. So let's see, do we have curl? No. Do we have wget? Yes, we do have wget. So what we can now do is, because we have an HTTP server running on our local server, on the local machine, we can point to it and the file we want. Look, as you can see here, it went through. And also here, you can see that it made a request to get the fdisk file. So, you know, if we now look in here, we have the fdisk file. Now there's something else that's really important. Don't forget to make it executable, because not making it executable just makes it so it does not work at all. And, you know, nobody wants that to happen. So what we want to do now is to change our path. That was this variable that we were talking about earlier. So this fdisk file is located in the temp directory. So what we basically have to do now is we have to change this variable. So this is very easy. Just export, then the variable name. Well, what do we want to change? We just want to add this. But if you want to, you can just type all of this. Or if you're really lazy, just do it like this. This also works, because this variable still exists, and it basically still grabs this variable before changing it. So, you know, it works. So let's try exporting it. And now if we echo our path, as you can see, it started with temp and everything else. So let's make sure our listener is running, and it is. So we had this command sysinfo. Let's try running it. Give it a second. It's on disk info. And we now have a shell as root. So it might look weird that this program isn't working anymore, but that's just because it's now is making a thread for this one, and it can't continue anything else on the other one. So, you know, this works, and now you can just go to root and read the file if you want, and then you own this machine, and you're now done with this machine. So enjoy it. Try hacking it yourself. Maybe you can come in too.
Nice. And there's also, you used MySQL dump, right? There's also, when you scanned the machine, there was no port 3306 open, but it's open on the local machine, of course.
Yeah, you can see it over here. It has opened up port 3306.
Yeah, I actually used Chisel to get a port forward and get access to the MySQL database.
Yeah, that was because ESP just asked for it, but you can definitely SSH forward it and just do the entire database dumping on your own machine. But
does that work? Can you try logging in with Theseus through SSH? Because you have the Sue password, or you have his password.
Yeah,
Theseus.
It should work, I guess.
Okay, can you give it a try?
Okay.
We have plenty of time, so we can try some various scenarios, maybe.
Okay, so let's see. What we have to do now is just... Okay, we can't SSH into him, so we can't use SSH port forwarding, unfortunately.
Why not?
Because we don't have SSH access. I already tried it earlier.
Yeah, there is.
VCS at 10.185. You need a key, but you know I'm just too lazy to make one. So that one does unfortunately not work, and that is a real shame. Also, for anybody interested, the sysinfo file, it's located in here, and in here you can see what it's doing exactly. Just can see in here, it's just executing this LSH job. You could have used that one if you wanted. Could have named it fdisk, and even free.
Yeah, but
why did you use curl to transfer this one-liner? Can't you just copy paste?
Well, you can also use something like echo and just bring it to the file. just echo it to the specific file. But you know, if you have, you can just change it on your local system. That is pretty much always easier, unless you have something like an SSH shell, which is stable. So yeah, and I just didn't use Vim or Nano because yeah, the shell is very unstable, and just contrasting by accident just destroys the entire shell.
All right, so getting a URL is easier. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was much easier.
Okay, thanks.
Daniel says that he has to go. Daniel will be doing the CTF next week, next month.
Next week.
Next week, what? Next month. So see you later, Daniel. And well, we all wait anxiously for the CTF.
Yeah, definitely.
It will be quite fun. I had a sneak peek and I tried some of the challenges and it was good fun. So, yay! But one of the comments earlier was we can create our own SSH key and add it to the authorized hosts or
Yeah, we
authorized
can,
keys.
that should probably work. Let's see. There's probably a .that's yeah. There's a .sh directory. Yeah, we can probably give it a try.
Just do a copy paste. I think, right? It's a one line.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but this account is root. I'm just like, let's just grab the password real quick.
Yeah, the thing is not interactive.
Yeah, that's right.
Free. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we are Theseus now. But maybe there's some kind of key in here already. No, there's not.
Come show us your public key.
That's.
Is this a wise thing to do?
But probably not. Okay, didn't even ask where it's. Okay.
Yeah, it's in home pyro SSH because you did not give it any alternative. Pub. I would do the pub file.
Get
right?
dip one and pub.
There we go.
So this one. So let's see what's in here. Let's just echo this to Ruskies. Let's see that it worked correctly. It seems to be working correctly. Okay.
Okay. There you go. Now you can use Phi or Nano.
Yeah, now it works.
Yeah.
Luckily. Okay, so let's see, what was it again?
And do a port forward of 3306. Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Oh. Yeah, Ali, I will add you.
Okay. We want
Ali, you're added.
this, I believe. Free show. this should work. Okay, let's see my. Okay, MySQL dash u VCS dash v IM VCS.
Minus capital H, I would think.
I don't think. Cannot collect. See, is it even up? Oh wait, I had it. No, it doesn't even work. Let's try again.
Yeah, it's trying to do a socket connection. If you use the minus capital H, it will do a TCP connection.
Play.
You probably need to give the host name.
Yeah, but that's right.
Oh, I forgot it. MySQL minus help. I always
no, that was
struggle
for
with the
SQL dump
syntax.
ESP.
Well, give it the help. Let's see if what the command line is. This looks okay. Can you nmap the local machine 3306? Make sure it's open.
3306. It's closed.
Oh, it did not work.
There's probably an error on this end.
Let's see, minus P 3306, localhost 3306. That looks about right.
Maybe try it like this, I guess.
Ooh.
Still closed. No, it still doesn't work.
Let me look my notes.
Unfortunately.
So basically you tried to have a proxy on your local to the remote MySQL port. And then on local you can run a MySQL client.
Yeah, you can do it with Chisel or something.
Yeah, Chisel.
Yeah, Chisel.
I think you actually need the minus L instead of the minus P.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Next time we will also, or after the next time, we'll actually do a Kahoot quiz on know your obscure command line settings.
Still can't connect.
No, yeah, but it tries the socket connection. You need to have a TCP connection. If you hit enter just, then you can check if it does the MySQL. MySQL connect TCP. There we go. How to force to connect to TCP, and the answer is use 127001. And the comment here is MySQL is strange. So instead of using localhost, use IP address.
Still doesn't work.
Oh, and MySQL minus help. Right, it's somewhere in there. I always thought it was minus H, capital H, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, that might work.
Oh,
Access denied. The database. Okay,
yeah.
let's go like this. Thanks, Niels.
Yay! There we go. -D. I would have.
It
My
works.
SQL is strange. My SQL is strange.
Fun fact: I really don't like using SQL.
Yeah,
I always
and
forget how to use it.
that's why we made good notes, of course, and nobody actually had to go and Google stuff now, right? Tinus, have a great evening. Thanks, Hidden, for your walkthrough, and thanks for the invitation. Yeah. No, Hidden. That is show databases.
I always forget it.
And then punt comma. There you go. Use magic. Punt comma. There you go. Show tables. Nice. Punt comma. And now use your magic on. Oh. Query syntax you have, I see. Select star from login.
This is why I don't use SQL ever. So
Yeah,
it's
there
here.
we go.
It's
There
in
we go.
here.
Yeah.
It works, but you know, sometimes I just forget things like this.
That's why we make notes. That's why
Yeah.
we make notes. Yeah. So instead of doing it through the shell, we created a authorized keys and SSH'd in, so you can actually use the editor and stuff. And then did a port forward for the MySQL, which is awesome. And there's a tool called Chisel, CHISEL. I will put it in the chat. Chisel. Forward. That port forwarding. Yeah, there we go. And the Chisel tool, it's actually a Go binary. So it is portable between Windows and Linux, and you can use it for various things. It's quite good.
Yeah, it has to be built for pretty much everything.
Pretty much
you need.
everything, yeah. And then you can actually say, hey, I want to start a server on port 8000. You want to give it a try? We have
Sure.
a half an hour still, so let's
Sure.
learn people new
Why not?
things. Yeah. So if you download the one for the Linux, we only need one.
See, Linux, AMD 64.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just use this one because we're lazy.
Well, we need to stop the port forward, right? So you need to connect without the port forward.
But it might still be running in the background. Should be good. Try. Yeah, it's close now. Okay.
You need to transfer.
Yeah, but Niels, that only works when you have bash, but I'm using CSH. So, you know, sometimes it might clash a bit. But, you know, things like that happen. They will break because it's a system after all. Let's see, it should be this one. Yeah.
Yeah, nicely done.
Let's copy it to that one. Use this one. Temp.
Now I need to really quickly get my notes on how to, how to use
How
chisel.
to use it. Yeah, that's the main problem with this one. But at least it's well documented.
It is an awesome tool, and as a tool, it is probably one of the better things that you can actually use to port forward stuff. Yeah, so if you go and take a, you first have to copy it, of course.
Yeah, I already copied it. Let's
quick.
make it runnable.
Yeah,
that's probably smart.
Yeah, so
so let's see what.
Yeah, so on your Kali, you need to run a server.
Okay.
If you run chisel here, if you run chisel minus help, yeah,
I already did one on the target.
Yeah, so, yeah, all right.
It's a server or client.
Yeah, so server, and then with minus port, you can specify the port. And important here is the flag minus reverse, because you want to have a reverse connection. Right? And then
it says here reverse tunneling enabled.
Yeah,
listening on this port.
Nice. Is our Kali box still in OSP as the attack machine even after installing all kinds of tools?
It is.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do anything with your Kali. You're allowed to use any tool you want, except for Metasploit, of course. You can only use it once.
Yeah.
And any other tool that can auto-exploit things are also banned, like Burp Suite Pro or vulnerability scanners. Those are also not allowed.
But what is on your Kali does not really matter. It's what you use.
Yeah.
And they will check what you use and make note of it.
And when you have your lab time, just feel free to make use of Metasploit in the lab, since it is a very powerful tool, and it is just good knowledge to know how to use it well, because it is very powerful and it is basically a C2 at this point. So, just it will help to just get used to it, but don't rely on it too much. That's just the whole point of it.
Yeah, I would suggest doing boxes manually, and then later go back and try with Metasploit.
Yeah, definitely.
Just use it manually first. So if you're on the target machine.
Yep. Clients.
Nice clients. Right. So 10, 14, whatever, and then the port that you gave with a colon between it.
I like this.
Oh, did you? You gave it the port number. Oh, if you can go back to your remote machine.
This is my remote machine.
To your Kali machine. The port number of the chisel server should be something else. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. And now on because that's the chisel server that takes all the traffic, and now we need to set up the ports between. So you need to change the 3306 here to 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it is a matter of saying capital R, colon, then the port number 3306, and then colon, localhost, colon 3306.
Yeah, like this.
And now give it a good whack.
So let's see, it should say here that it is connected. Yeah, it's listening now. So MySQL, I am game. Yeah, this works. Yeah,
it is really good. And as long as you keep some really neat notes, then you will have no issue. So this is one of the things that I've started using instead of just doing the SSH forward, because SSH forward generally it is a rarity if it actually works unless you get to set it up itself. So Let's see if there's any questions.
Yeah, that one is definitely allowed.
Yeah.
There are some other great alternatives out there, like Auto Reckon. That one is also really cool. It also has everything you need. Yeah. And also this one. I personally use this one during my exam.
See, that's where the notebook comes in, right? He has that noted, that SQL query. No.
Normally I just Google everything.
Reconnoiter.
Yeah. But this tool is also great to get used to. Yeah, it's especially made for OCP, so it has everything you need.
Yeah, the thing to remember is that these tools, they automate a lot of things. So if you use the tools, chances are that it's doing something that you do not understand. So if you want to actually learn, it would be good to not just rely on tools, but first to do it manually. And then you can always use a tool to actually do stuff, of course. But actually learning the things that Reconnoiter does, or Auto Recon, or any automation script is probably just as important as being able to identify what it does, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you writing your own tools?
Yes.
Right. So then you can also put them on GitHub and use them during a challenge.
Also, definitely. If they're not on GitHub, you can use them during a challenge.
Right. Okay.
The point is that tools that you write yourself, unless you write Nessus, for instance, but things that you use yourself, they're always allowed. The things that are not allowed are things that do mass evaluation of vulnerabilities and stuff like that. And that's why the burp suite, which does things like, oh, can I do a SQL injection here? Yeah, a SQL injection.
SQL map isn't allowed either.
Yeah. So the things that take away that you do the step yourself, those are not allowed. And for the rest, everything is allowed.
So basically, brute force kind of tools shouldn't be used. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can get a box that you need to do Hydra with, for instance.
That's definitely allowed.
Yeah, that's allowed.
Oh, yeah, and Goatbuster also. Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact is that those tools, they give you input or output, rather. They give output, and with that output, you need to do something. And if you use a tool that does all kinds of automation, you do not show that you can do the thing. Right, and that's the thing that OCP wants you to show is how did you get here? What is the step that you do? And how do you get there?
Sorry, for Burp Suite, you meant the Pro version, but the Community one is allowed. Okay. Yeah, it scared me for a minute there. Okay.
Yeah. Now the Burp Suite, the Community edition that does not actually do all the cool things, but when you do a repeater or stuff like that, all that stuff is allowed. The Pro version, when you start scanning or when you add something to your scope, you can do a scan and it will automatically scan through all your history and try to figure out if there's XSS and it has collaborator and all that kinds of neat things. You're not allowed to use that. Okay. The point is that you show that you can do things, right? That's the most important thing.
That's true.
I have a very stupid question on Burp.
There are no stupid questions.
When I use Firefox and Burp, then Firefox seems to call home every second. So my Burp, I need to click forward all the time.
Yeah.
So,
when it's one of those weird OK files or something like that.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
There's a very cool feature in Burp. I think Hide will also show it. It's the scope. So for instance, if we take the machine that we had, the GitHub of the Magic machine, if you look at target and then sitemap, the sitemap? Sitemap, so the tab sitemap? Yeah, there we go. We see 10, 10, 10, 185. If you right on the left-hand side, yeah. If you right-click that, no, just the top one. Just the top one. Yeah, right-click it. We can do add to scope. And at this point, only requests related to that machine are considered in scope. And that means that any action like the intercept, so if you would be so kind, Hidde, to actually call intercept on, and now to go to this page and reload it.
Should be on. Let's just upload. Let's just try uploading this one. Let's see what happens.
Right, then we go to this.
Loading out of scope, proxy traffic.
No, but where's your upload?
It's not in here.
I think your Foxy proxy was turned off.
No, it's turned on. Yeah,
there we
that
go.
works.
It takes a little. You chose the binary.
Yeah.
It's a file, big file. Yeah.
Let's upload 20 megabytes. Who cares?
Yeah, why not?
So at this point, you see that it intercepts. So if you forward this one, all right, and then your browser now go to GitHub.
Wait.
Yeah. And if you would now get a page for GitHub and reload it, or this one, doesn't really matter. It should.
Yeah, like this.
Oh. Wait. It should not.
But it's probably just not logging it, I guess.
No, it's doing it. Stop clicking, man. Stop clicking. It should not do this. Where's the click one? Oh, wow. Why?
Logging out of scope proxy traffic is disabled.
Yeah, it should not be doing this.
Maybe it's because it's already in here.
Could be.
Should we filter?
Yeah.
The bar there.
Indeed. So if you go back to proxy, in case this happens, if you go back to proxy and there's this options thing, so we can say intercept client requests, which is the second orange header, and it says file extensions for whatever. We can do an and
URL is in target scope. I think we need this one.
Don't we need this one? Double click that.
Yeah, it's enabled.
Oh, you can do an add then. Sorry, click on the add, and the button on the left hand side.
Oh,
right, and no, and then the IP address in this case is in range
0.
10, 10, 10. What was it? 185?
Yeah, it's this one.
Yeah, click OK. And then we need to disable the URL. Oh, and URL is in scope. I'm sorry. You already did the beautiful thing.
Yeah,
you just need to read, right? Forward.
Let's try it now. This one
gets intercepted, which is awesome.
Okay, now let's try going here, for example, and it doesn't get intercepted now.
It doesn't get intercepted. So the one line that you did, the and is in scope, is the important one there.
Okay, so together with the scope setting of the URL and the options and it's in target scope, that is the magic combination.
Yeah, then it does not intercept things that you're not interested in. Yeah. I have that thing always enabled on mine, so I was taken aback by it. But and then when you're done and you have another host that you want to look at, you can just click re-enable, and new things will get logged, and then you can select a new thing to be in scope.
All right, yeah, that's better than clicking 1,000 times.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Firefox calling home.
Yeah, there's a really good course on. I want to say HackerOne. I don't know if it's HackerOne. I will look it up. But there's like an introduction course to effectively using Burp Suite, and it is magic. Those few little actions of doing an in-scope thing, setting the option, and then not having to worry about anything else and just freely being able to browse GitHub or Google without having to forward everything is magic.
Yeah, thanks.
But is it not on the Web Security Academy from Bertzweger?
Yeah, that is.
I think it might be on here.
Yeah.
This is just overall just a great resource for anything web related.
Do you have the thing on your screen right now?
I do not, and I think I am logged in, and so it shows my real name everywhere.
Nice.
So that's not happening.
No, I'm gonna go into the academy here. The web security. I take the link and I will put. Oh, yeah, right. There we go. Yeah. Well, thanks, Hidde, for showing us this machine and doing all the other extra ones.
Yeah.
It is
was fun to do.
Quite good to try. Once you have a machine, it's good to think about, can I do other things with it as well? For instance, can I get to root in a different way? Or if there's a SQL injection, can I use that SQL injection to just read the database? Because there was a SQL injection in the login form. We could have used that with a lot more effort to just read out the entire database. Right? That would be quite interesting as well, right? So yeah, cool, very cool. And then we made an entire evening of fun things already. It's nice. So does anybody have any questions? Oh, can you wildcard it? Yes. ESP0x-deadbeef. Instead of doing the add to scope, then you just create a new rule, say add IP address, and then you can do a net mask. So say 10.10.10 0/24, and then any 10.10.10 address will be intercepted and the rest will not. So you can just do that. So in your today I learned list, you can put that. It's quite nice. Nice. Always good. And does anybody have any questions at this point?
I have a question.
Nice.
I have a free access to, I have some budget on Azure and I have a budget on AWS. Nice. So I can run VMs over there. So I sometimes use Kali on one of those machines to go to Hack the Box.
Nice.
And but then it's command line only. Is somebody having experience with having a desktop of Kali on one of the cloud servers?
You can probably use something like RDP or maybe VNC. It's probably possible.
Is your own desktop a Linux machine?
No, Mac. Yeah, but I have RDP, of course, and VNC probably also works. But okay, I can try just VNC. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would try just to install a desktop environment and a VNC server, and then use that to connect. If you have a Linux machine that you run locally, you could export the display on your connection through SSH, and then basically do a port for it and have a local connection to your desktop.
Okay.
Which is basically like a low-level RDP session.
Is that something like I did 25 years ago on the Next machine that I worked on, where you can have a remote display? Okay.
It's still X11, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's display : 0.0. You export that, and then you can. It's SSH -X, I believe, and then you can locally connect to your remote desktop environment.
Okay, I will have a look for that. Yeah, because then suddenly I can use some other tools too, right? Then only command line.
Yeah, true. And is there a reason why you put it in the cloud and not just on your local machine?
Oh yeah, well, I have a Mac and my VirtualBox is a bit slow. and I try to use Kali and the other one, Parrot.
Yeah.
But I basically want to have more distance, and because the machines are free, basically, in the cloud.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, then, so yeah, I might just run it from over there.
Yeah, true. And if you want to run it locally and your Mac is a little bit, or your VM is a little bit slow, generally it is the display settings. It sets it to 16 megabytes of video memory, and your Mac screen is such a high resolution that it fills up the 16 megabytes right away.
Okay.
And you can set it to 128 and it solves a lot of problems.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Cool.
Yeah.
But use the cloud.
Yeah. Because I'm also thinking about using, let's say, the Windows box over there, because that already has a display. But I'm not sure if then the Linux for Windows will run, because it's virtualization on the virtualization, right? So I cannot run Kali in Windows.
It might work if nested virtualization is allowed, but with WSL, you cannot have a VPN connection, or you could not. They might have changed it, but once you get it running, you will notice that you cannot get a sub VPN connection.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, well, we had that during the first meetup. One of the members tried it, and it turned out that VPN just doesn't work.
Yeah, I tried it out recently. It just does not work well.
No, but René,
don't bother.
As you are now using your well-earned VIP membership, you can also use Pwnbox.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. So indeed, during the weekend, I did a lot of Pwnbox, and that's really nice.
I think it's nice as well, and especially if you work in a team, or for instance on a Discord, and you work and you think like, that doesn't work. You can just share the spectator link and people can help you out. It's very nice.
Didn't know that, but yeah. So I found the clipboard icon on the bottom right, so that's useful.
Yeah.
But my problem is only 24 hours for the whole month. So I also try to do magic. Yeah, but then I try half an hour and then I stop the machine again because I'm having a drink or whatever. Yeah, so all the time I'm starting and stopping the machine.
Yeah, true.
Save
Bye-bye, Danny. That part is kind of annoying, right? Marco has a question, maybe strange question, but as soon as my VM connects to the Xbox VPN, the VM only routes through the VPN. So every page load is very slow because it's waiting for Google APIs, etc. Oh, I don't have that problem. That's quite interesting. When I start the VPN, everything is separated, so it might be something else. Yeah, I would try first IP route and see if what is going on. And maybe your local network is using the same IP range as the network for Hackbox, could be. And that would mean that your VM is bridged instead of knotted, knotted, N-A-T. Which might be interesting. Jan Dirk, you're very welcome. See you next time. Yeah. I would say, Marco, drop the question on our Discord. See if we can figure it out. I would guess that you have a network connection that is not bridged instead of knotted, and that your local network has the same IP layout as the VPN. Yeah, many people need to go. Yeah, it's also 9 o'clock almost. I also need to go. So no reading of Miffy today. So we broke with tradition. Yeah. Very cool. See you on Discord. So yeah, if you're on Discord, we will talk quite soon. And otherwise, next week we have Capture the Flag. It is beginner friendly. It does.
Next month or next week?
Next. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just
next month, October 21st.
So 21st.
The next meetup. I always say next week for some reason, but it will be a beginner-friendly capture flag. It does assume some knowledge of Burp Suite, so if you can, I will also put it in the mails to check that out. But it should be very fun the coming time. So okay. I would say everybody have a very good night and see you all next month.
Thank you very much. See you next
You're welcome.
month.
See you later, Mohammed.
Bye-bye. See you.
Alright. Iedereen die er nog is, fijne avond. Good night. Bye bye.